teamed up with the boy Mark the Mentor. Are you ready to take your trucking business to the next level? With Truckstop Pro, you get access to the best load board in the game, giving you the tools to find higher paying loads and streamline your operation. And right now, you can try the Pro plan free for 30 days, a $159 value. Click the link in the description to claim your free Pro plan and start making smarter moves for your trucking business today.
Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's going on? Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Let me know where you guys are checking in from. What's up? What's up, Great Polo? Shout out to Sharks World, SD Walk. Shout out to all the MGM members. Shout out to SD Walk, Sharks World. I see Talk with Walk. Jonathan, shout out to all the moderators. What's going on? Shout out to D Jenkins, Jonathan Kohler. Great Polo, come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. J Fresh Beats, what's going on? What's going on? We Carry Freight, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? How's everybody doing? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Happy Monday. Hope everybody's doing. Come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button now. Hit that like button. Some people upset. It's a few people that's upset. It's a minute amount of people, though. It's not many. It's not many. But we're going to talk about it. Then we're going to do this Q&A. I was reminded yesterday I haven't done a Q&A in a while. Q&A doesn't involve you hitting the link. It's just put your questions in the chat, and I'll get to all of them, and then I'm going to get out of here. So come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. And let's get started. All right, man. So I'm a little confused. I'm a little confused with what people want. All right. Now I see why some content creators that I do think they do bring value don't put out much content. It's conversations that we've had in the past as far as, viewers and how they, consume information. Because I'm confused, right? Here's how we look at it. Here's how I look at it. You get led or misled. You get mad at people that you feel are misleading or perpetuating false reality when it comes to, box trucking or trucking, right? People that tell the truth, you get mad at them too. You get mad at the people who are misleading you. You get mad at the people that tell the truth. Now, when I tell you what it is, well, Mark, you too hard on us and this. All right, let me kick it with you for a second. Back in the day when I was in school, all right, this is a back in the day moment. The way you guys get educated now in school, we didn't get educated like that. It's a lot of things teachers can and can't do. Nowadays, there's a lot of things teachers can and can't say. Back then, in my day, when I was going through school, teachers were allowed to discipline you. Teachers used to yell at us. Teachers used to call us names and you dumb, you stupid. Get over here and read this out loud. Get up here and read it. I remember in high school, the guys who played on the football team, they used to get hit with a paddle. Bend over and hold your nuts. They let them do a drill run. They got hit with a paddle. Educating people back in the day, it came, you got that tough love and it was harsh. It was hard. Like I remember I had this teacher, Miss Donald, would literally call people names in class. She did what she had to do to get the message across to them. Now, I don't do that. Shout out to my hater that came in the building. My hater is subscribed to the channel. Make sure they get all the notifications. They make sure they early to hit that dislike button. Let me give my hater a little attention real quick. Listen, you that obsessed with me that the first few minutes of the live stream, you here, you watching, you contributing to these watch hours. I appreciate you. It's all engagement to me. I really do appreciate you. I hope you in the truck right now sweating. I hope your AC is broken. I hope your truck is squealing. I hope by the end of this year, you out. You probably already out. To put in this type of energy to come and make sure you hit the dislike button, like you're obsessed. You're obsessed with a person who you don't even know. That's an obsession. That's crazy to me that you could be obsessed with an individual who you don't know because they ruffled your feathers a little bit. It's a shame. It's pitiful. All right, so there go your little 30 seconds of fame. I hope you have a splendid day. Get that AC fixed. Get out your mama's basement. Get off that futon. Get off that futon and figure shit out. All right. All right, but getting back to what I was saying, education back in the day, it was tough. It was harsh. Educators used to, they used to be hard on us back in the day. You can't get away with a lot of that shit today now. I was talking to somebody earlier and they kind of reminded me of that, as far as maybe some of the people that are coming into the space now who just, have gone through schooling in this new era, and teachers are limited to what they can say and what they do. So they got a softer way of learning. It was different back in my day. Now, another thing that I know is that, and I'm going to speak to my demographic of people in specific, is that we hard-headed. We don't learn shit off the bat. All right. You got to knock us upside the head a couple times for us to get through. You have to be hard on us for us to get shit because we don't do what's in our best interest. And notice I categorize myself with we. I put myself in the category. All right. So when you see me take out clips from previous shows, it's to remind you and show you how we look. Now, it's up to us to change the narrative. Because just because you may be a good business person, you may go about things the right way, we all group the same. We all group the same. So sometimes you got to look at yourself in the mirror to do better. To me, I don't feel like it's tough. I don't feel like it's rough. It is what it is. If I'm going to start something, it's my job to make sure that I give myself the best opportunity to succeed. Now, we spent time on operation costs, week after week, day after day. I expounded on it till people got mad. I started talking about the cost per mile, or the cheap freight, right? And kind of incorporated that into that to grab your attention. All right. How many times have people come up here, they don't know their cost per mile? They complain about an industry, but they don't know their cost per mile. They don't know what it costs for them to operate their business. When you ask them what their cost per mile is, they don't know. I had a guy come up last night. He said he don't care about a cost per mile. How can he make $10,000? So you got people that don't know their cost per mile. Now you got people that say they don't care about it. But then you get mad at a person for telling you the truth and telling you things like cost per mile and understanding your costs to run your business are important, but you telling me you don't care about it. You showing me you don't care about it because when you come up here and I ask you what it is, when you complaining to me, and I say, well, how much it costs for you to run your business? You don't know it. So how you gonna get mad at me? When you telling me and you telling the world you don't know, or now people are saying they don't even care about it. How can you make this money? Listen to how that sounds. I don't care about cost per mile. How can I make $10,000? So it goes back to the live stream I had from the other day. You gotta look in the mirror. Like the person who come in here every day need to go look in the mirror. You can't get mad at somebody else that's telling you what it is. The truth is in the mirror. Sometimes you got to look at your own ignorance to realize you have to start going in the mirror and holding yourself accountable. It's only so much I can do. What you want me to do? What you want me to do? Everybody got their own personal problems. Some people got financial problems. The next person may not have financial problems. They may have marital problems. You got another person that may not have marital problems or financial problems. They got health problems. Everybody got problems. The business don't care about none of them. Everybody's start is going to be different. The competition don't care about how you started. See, that's what a lot of people fail to realize coming out here, and a lot of people thought getting out here was going to be easy because you were sold that dream on get a truck or get a van and go to a load board and pick a load. Like it's just plentiful loads and shit like that. Like you can find a load and pick it and it'll be there waiting for you with a shiny red bow. And then after you do that load, go back to that load board, pick a load board. Just don't worry about it. It's going to be one there for you with a shiny red bow. And you just going to keep doing that. And then you're going to run up a bag and then you're going to be rich and you're going to drive a S580 and you're going to get your wife a G-Wagon and you're going to live happily ever after with a white picket fence and you're going to have a little bitty cute little dog and everything is just going to work out for you. Then you realize it wasn't so simple. Then you get mad. You come back to the internet and then you start trashing everybody. And this is why I say it's not the content creator's fault whether they took you on a ride or didn't. It's your fault because you made the decision. Whether you like me or don't like me or you like the person who sells the dreams or dislike the person because they sold you a dream, at the end of the day, it's your decision. You steer your business in the right direction or the wrong direction. Can't get no mad at nobody but yourself. That's why I say they. You is they. I ain't they. You they. I'm they when it comes to what's going on in my household and within my business affairs. And I'm accountable for everything and every decision that I do. All right. So, it's up to you. So I'm confused. I'm confused of what people want that's came into this trucking thing. It's a lot of people that's frustrated. And see, the thing is, I know my content, I guess, is controversial, but I don't even know why it's controversial because everything I'm telling you is the real deal. Even when I forecast, you've been mad at me since 2022 peak season. You've been mad at me because I told you there wasn't going to be one. I told you that, and y'all hate when I do this, but I always got to remind you. I always got to remind you. I told you it wasn't going to be one. Remember you got mad at me and y'all made videos and was talking about me and other people's live streams and chats and shit. I remember that. I'm like, whoa, this YouTube thing is kind of rough. Mm-hmm. Yep. Then it came and it wasn't one, right? Because you was expecting for it to be like the year before and you was getting sold that dream like peak season about to come get a truck, go get an extra few trucks, go rent an extra few trucks, you about to run it up. And I said, how? And I told you, like, how is this possible? You said, man, you don't know nothing. I said, dude, I've been doing this shit for over a decade. How I don't know nothing? I said, where is the freight? The freight is already here. How is there going to be a peak season and you're in trucking and it's your job to move freight from point A to point B and the freight is already where it needs to be? I said, yo, the retailers order a massive amount of freight when supply chain started to pick back up, right? Because they were worried that if supply chain halted again, they wouldn't have empty shelves. And then guess what? When they ordered all that freight, consumer behavior switched. All the money stopped, people stopped spending, and now you had places like Amazon and all these other places that had warehouse. They were using warehouses as storage facilities because they had so much freight. So now the freight that they will order for peak season, they didn't have to order it because they had too much freight to begin with that they over ordered in case of another supply chain disruption. But you didn't listen. And you had your hopes up, and then sure enough, it came and it was nothing. It's nothing to move. The freight was already where it needed to be. Final mile guys had moved shit. The Amazon DSP people had shit to do. But the people who move shit the middle mile from point A to point B to get the stuff situated for where it needs to be for the final mile to get it to where it needs to be, that shit was already where it needed to be. You had been moved it already. It was just sitting there already. And I told you this. I explained to you how to research what peak season is going to look like. It went in one ear and out the other. You remember that? You remember? You don't remember that? Remember I told you you got to start looking at the ocean freight. I explained to you the different modes of transportation and logistics, and that how most general commodities that you consume at the store are manufactured overseas. So the key is to look at the ocean freight in July and August coming in, and when you see port volume coming up, then you'll be able to depict what your peak season is going to look like. Did you forget that? It's in the content. Go back and look. You didn't listen to me. You got your hopes up. You went and bought more trucks because you still had money left over. You went and rented some trucks, and you did all the stuff that wasn't in your best interest, and then it wasn't no peak season. Well, it was a peak season, just wasn't one for you. Then you were hoping that January and February is going to be better. I said, man, January and February is always slow. Who told you that? But you was comparing that to January and February of 2022, right? Because that was the overflow of the second PPP. You still had stimulus money still going out. You still had women getting that whatever that shit was that they was getting for their kids extra. You still had unemployment. People were still getting unemployment. It was still money being circulated. So that January and February bump that you saw in 2022, that wasn't normal. That was due to stimulus money. But you didn't know that. But when I tried to explain it to you, Mark don't know what he's talking about. It's in the content. Go back and look at it. So I'm confused because I've been telling you what it was from the beginning. Same thing with Q2. They said this publication said this is going to get better. That's going to get better, and I denounced it all. Somebody told me in the Discord, said, "Cause Mark, cause you black, it's hard for people to take information. It's hard for us to take information from us. If you look like something else, anything other than black, people would probably take it a little bit better." I 100% agree. I 100% agree. It's just like they say, you want to hide something from us, put it in a book, right? That's why yesterday I showed you. I do a call-in show where I give you the medicine and some candy. The candy is the satire and the humor and the entertainment. And then I give you the medicine and the candy, like Carlton Creers told me. You come and you consume that and you'll get the medicine that way. But if I sit here and I talk boring like I am now, you ain't gonna come and consume it because it's too boring. These are the things that I need. It's smart. This is like picking up a book and reading it. So you don't consume it. You come for the entertainment, the laughter, the excitement, and you don't understand that you're being educated in the midst of it because I have to put this shuck and jive on around it, this entertainment around it. Been telling you this shit since day one. Like I said, some people gonna like it, some people gonna hate it, some people gonna love it, some people not. I don't care. At the end of the day, I haven't told you nothing wrong thus far. So I'm a little bit confused on what the viewers really, really want. What do you want? Can somebody substantiate to me what you want? Because I don't know. I'm lost now. Because you don't want cost per mile. You don't want operational costs. You don't want the shit that you need to be successful. You just want me to tell you how to make money. When I'm telling you how to make money with all this educational shit that you don't get when you tap in and hit the 5 simple steps to start your 6-figure box truck business, like I don't know. I don't know no shortcut where none of this shit that I talk about is going to get you there. Without the shit that I talk about, I don't see how you can get there. If there's an easier way to get there without knowing what it costs to operate your business, understand your cost per mile, understand competition, SWOT analysis, market analysis, all that shit, I really don't know how to get you there. If you don't understand that you should understand what you investing in before you go out and spend your money, I don't know what to tell you. If you think it's simple as going out, purchasing equipment, and then figuring your way out after you done spent your money because you thought it was going to be that easy, I really don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't put the cart before the horse. I don't know what to tell you. So you can get mad all you want. And guess what? I'm gonna tell you one more thing, and then I'm gonna do this Q&A. While you getting mad and being upset and not going in the mirror and having a self accountability, it's somebody out there that's doing everything right. Because it's not. I'm you know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to us, and you know who us is. Because it's only us that make ourselves look like a goddamn fool. But when us tell us about it, us gets upset with us for holding us accountable. When I knew I was going to start really, really pounding the payment on operation costs and things like that, I had to set myself and prepare. Like everything that I do, it's thought out, right? I knew that once I was going to really start pounding the pavement and, really doing like accountability and really, really, trying to pound the information to people's heads, I knew I would have to go back and show that journey, right? Because I hadn't shown it at that point thus far, and I had been challenged on if the journey really existed and things of that nature. So that's when I realized, okay, it's the time I gotta show this now so that people can accept what I'm giving. It's hard to accept something from someone when you don't know if they've actually done it. Yeah, a person can seem knowledgeable about it, but you know how Black people are. We want to know. We got to see. We got to get in your pockets. Black people don't like other people to tell them shit unless they get in their pocket. They want to know what you done did. They want to know what's in your pockets. All right, boom, no problem. Let's do it. So I did it. And then I started doing more of the accountability, just a harsh, I wouldn't even call it harsh, just a more tough education, right? So I've seen better results behind it. I've seen better results. I've seen more people that appreciate it than don't. So those few people that don't appreciate it, that shit really don't bother me because there's more people that appreciate it that don't. You see them come up here all the time. Mark, I wish I'd have found your channel first because everything you talking about, I lived it. Everything you're talking about, I swear I'm going through it right now. Mark, everything you talking about, that's me. You talking to me. So, it's unfortunate, that, this has to be done, but this is how we are, like somebody said in the chat, seeing is believing with us. That's why I structure my content the way I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to hold people accountable and then not show you that I've done it. So that's why I finally broke down. Because remember back in the day, I'm like, man, I ain't showing you shit. It's either you take the information or you don't, believe it or don't. But I realized that with us, you got to show it. So that's why I did. But I'm still confused, man. I just don't at this point, like I don't know. Like last night, that shit was crazy to me that, a person said they don't care about operation costs. I don't care about operation costs. How can I make money? Like I'm confused to even know how to like respond to something like that. And then there was one lonely soul in the chat when I watched back and looked at the chat. There was one lonely soul, which we all know who he is, that thought what Buddy was saying, he had a valid point. This is the guy who said, man, I don't care nothing about cost per mile. How can I make 10 grand? How do I respond to something like that? How do you respond to people not knowing what it costs to run their business, and now people not caring what it costs to run their business, and verbally saying it and then following it up with just tell me how to make 10 grand? I don't think in that capacity. So to be honest with you, I may not be the person for a lot of you guys, because if you think like that, then there's nothing I can do to help you. Nothing. I'm telling you the shit now. Ain't shit I can do. Ain't nothing I can do. But I can tell you one thing. To us, the more we don't take shit serious, and I'm including me because I'm saying us, but I'm straight. The more we don't take shit serious, the farther we gonna get behind the 8 ball. And that's just period. So you can laugh or don't care about cost per mile or don't care about operation costs, but then when you look up and realize that shit is important, it's gonna be too late. And then you're gonna come to the internet crying and complaining, talking about they taking this and they doing that, and angry and mad and frustrated at the world and punching the air. And I'm just gonna sit back and do this. See, I learned to just sit back and let a person talk. Just sit back, let a person talk, and then they're going to tell you everything. They're going to tell you how they really feel. They're going to tell you how they feel about you. They're going to tell you how they feel about the next person. And then they ultimately going to tell you how they feel about themselves. It's unfortunate that a lot of people got taken down a rabbit hole. It's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, that's life. And here we are, 4 years, damn near 5 years. 2025 is upon us. We finna be 5 years from when the pandemic started, and we still are seeing the after effects of this whole box truck bubble and the anger and the frustration of people from that period. 5 years removed. Well, not 5 years removed, but 5 years since the day everything got shut down. March of 2025 would make 5 years. And you still got people running around here angry. So you get misled, you angry. You get the truth, you angry. You just angry. So what do you really want? Do you really want to make money with your box truck? Do you really want to get in the box truck business? What you want? I know what you really want. You want instant gratification. And unfortunately, that's just not how the world works. So what you want me to tell you? You want me to sit up here and tell you, get a box truck, you're going to make a lot of money? Okay, get a box truck, you're going to make a lot of money. There you go. Get a box truck, you're going to make a lot of money, and everything is going to be great. That's what you want? There you go. There you go. You got it. Because at the end of the day, when I tell you the truth or I tell you just some random bullshit like I just did, you still going to be angry. And the reason why you're going to be angry is because regardless of what I say or what the next person says, you still going to not do what's in your best interest. And what that call-in show did is it exposed it. And what these clips do, it puts a dagger in your heart, because each clip, there's 4 or 5 people or maybe 10 people out there that can resonate with each individual in that clip. It's to the point now where people look at those clips and they say, man, Mark, these got to be paid actors. You think I'm finna pay somebody to, what you do? Like a lot of y'all be so ignorant. Y'all be believing people. Y'all think like these YouTube channels make a lot of money. They don't. If I told you this channel don't even make $1,500 a month, would you believe me? So you think I'm gonna invest money into having people come up here and act? Of course not. These are clips from previous shows. To people who are just coming to the channel, these are clips from shows that happened 6, 7, 8 months ago. If I wanted to continue to do the call-in show, I would do the call-in show. The reason why I stopped the call-in show is because I don't want to do it. At least right now. If I was, like the guy said last night, adamant about making people look crazy, I would keep doing it. I said the last episode, this is it. I need a break. Every time I do this show, I get a headache. I get a headache from listening to people say some of the shit that they say. So if I was in it and if it was making so much money, it was such a great thing, and I get pleasure out of seeing people say some of the shit they say, I would do it every week. And I would have never stopped it. But actually, it gives me a headache. That's why I went from doing it a week to 2 weeks. And then the last time I skipped 3 weeks before I did, and I said, all right, I'm done. I'm giving myself a break. So I'm confused. I don't know what people want. Can box truck business be easy? I think it can be stable once you get to a point where you're knowledgeable in the space. But is it easy? No. Anything that you make a lot of money from, it's not going to come easy. It's not. Anything that you go and that you have to build from scratch, it's not going to come easy. Why do you think because somebody told you to tap in and hit the link and they did this and the little 5 little steps came down, you thought it was going to be simple? Anything you got to build is going to be tough. You think it's easy to build a house? You think it's going to be easy to build a trucking business? You think you're going to come in and just run like you've been running for 20, 30 years? You think the guys that's been trucking for 20 and 30 years, you think you're going to come in with their skill set and know how to maneuver and maximize the real estate on the back of your truck to maximize your profit? You think you're going to come in with that business acumen and that skill set from jump? You think so, right? You're wrong. So for you to sit there and think that it's going to be that sweet, that you're going to come in with a business acumen of a trucker who's been trucking for 20, 30 years, you crazy. Now, if you think you're going to come in and not have enough money to withstand that learning curve, you're wrong. So this is when they call me a hater. Well, man, Mark, so man, you telling me I can't come in with $3,000 and $4,000? No, you're gonna fail. See, this is where they get mad. Oh, you crushed his dreams. You told him he was gonna fail because he is. You come in with not enough money, you're gonna run out of money. How many times have we've showcased that on the channel? People have come up and said it. We had a guy come up the other day. There's people in the comment sections of every single one of these clips that said, yo, this was me. I wish I would have found your channel earlier. Everything you telling that person, I wish I would have known your channel existed for you could tell me that prior to me coming in. I may have listened, I may have not have listened, but I wish I would have had a 50% chance of making a decision because I was one-sided. I only thought one way. I only thought, man, once I got the truck, the rental truck, it was up. And when I came in, I learned a hard lesson. Or when I say, yo, competition, stepping on next. Man, Mark, so you'll really do that? Absolutely. You get mad when I say absolutely. You think I care about them people that bought the trucks during the pandemic when they was buying my trucks and they was paying over an abundance of money for them and they was making me profit off trucks that we had beat up for years? You think I felt a certain type of way? I was happy that they was ignorant. That's an example of taking advantage of a person who's not educated in the space. I'm not going to sit up here and talk you out of it. I see the direction this shit is going. So why would I talk you out of this shit? You want to follow the trend and come on in? What do I always tell you? Smart money been in. The real money already been made. Dumb money, smart money sells to dumb money. That's a classic example of taking advantage of a person in your space that's far less educated. I'm not finna educate you because you didn't do your due diligence and I'm handling business, trying to make a business transaction. That's your job to make sure that you're making the best decision for your business. I'm in this industry to make money. That's it, and that's all. So there goes another point of, yes, I would absolutely 100% take advantage of you. Now, is that like taking advantage of you with misinformation? No. That's taking advantage of you because you just don't know no better. I got something that I'm selling. Either you want to buy it or you don't. Value is what sets value? Value is what a person is willing to pay for something. And guess what? Because so many people were coming into this space during the pandemic and trucks were scarce, the value of used equipment went up. Only a retard would have sat on that shit. So that makes you mad at me too. Because I'm smarter than you. Make yourself smarter. Listen, I'm going to always tell people who come to me, always educate yourself and make yourself smart, especially in this space, because the people in this space, they don't educate themselves. Listen, the only thing you need to do in this space to win is educate yourself. It's simple as that. Focus on educating, learning as much as you can about this space from all aspects. I swear to you, it's going to be easy because your competition ain't doing that. And I showcase this shit to you every day. This is why I showcase this shit to you. And it still don't get through your head. If I was looking to come into this space and I was watching my channel, I would have already picked up, okay, I see what he's doing. He already a smart guy. Yeah, I could tell he's smart. So I see what he's doing. He basically saying, listen, if you educate yourself, you're going to win. If you learn every aspect of this business from the moment you come in and continue to educate yourself, you're going to win because the competition ain't doing that. And what he's showing us that he's giving us the information we need. He did a live stream on competition. He did a live stream on a bunch of live streams on understanding operate. He beat that into my head. He did all the educational stuff. And then what these call-in shows and these clips from these call-in shows is basically what he's doing. He's showcasing that this is your competition. I get what he's doing. Man, this is sweet. This is easy. Let me just get up my capital and continue to educate myself. And then once I get in, make sure I got enough working capital, I could beat these guys 40 going north because they're going to do everything that's not in their best interest. And he's showcasing and showing me to do everything that's in mine. But you look at these clips and you get upset. Like the lady today. sitting up there lying and shit. For what? You ain't got no semi-truck. You don't have a semi-truck. A man in the back got so tired of the line, he snapped on her. Just come up and say what you got. You got a box truck and a DOT. You don't got an MC. Y'all don't know what you're doing. Give me some information. No, you got to come up and make shit seem like more than what it is. For what? Why are we sitting up here all this time talking about a semi-truck when you don't even have one? You just wasted all the time lying, trying to make it seem like you was doing something that you wasn't to get information when you could have just gave me the information based off what your reality was. So if I was looking at this content and I was coming into this space now, I say, oh man, this shit's sweet. Once I get in, this is who I'm gonna have to compete with. These guys don't know what it costs. I'm gonna make sure my cost is low, and I'm gonna keep my truck moving. I'm gonna make sure I profit because my cost gonna be low. I'm gonna let them sit there and continue to complain about and I'm gonna keep running up this bag. I'm gonna encourage them to keep talking about. I'm gonna send them and encourage them to keep complaining and keep talking about And while they wasting time complaining about I'm gonna be running up this bag. Absolutely. Because to me, educating myself ain't no big thing. I do it anyway. I understand that's what it takes to get ahead. I'm not gonna say no shit like, man, I don't care nothing about no cost per mile. How can I make this money? If I invest into a company, I'm gonna research the company. I'm gonna research the industry. I'm gonna make sure that I'm not investing into something that I may lose my money on. Same thing with a box truck business. I'm going to educate myself on the business in all aspects. I'm not gonna come in and say, all right, let me buy the truck and I just need to know how to make 10,000. Can you show me how to make 10,000? I'm not gonna say no shit like that. If I know the mass majority of my competition is uneducated, I'm just going to educate myself. If that's all I got to do, so if educating myself is going to put me in the best position, and that's it, sign me up. I tell you who educating themselves. The Hispanics, they educating themselves. And they working. All those Russians that you complain about, they working. And they sticking together. And their cost of living is a lot lower. Because they doing shit in their best interest. You know what we doing? Complaining. Hating, complaining, counting other men's pockets, complaining, worried about how other men started. Not doing what's in our best interest as far as educating ourselves. Don't want to know what it costs to run our business. We go out, we put the cart before the horse, go out, buy a truck, and don't know what to do with it. And then get upset at everybody. You can get upset all you want at me. I don't give a goddamn. And then, then the person who sits here and gives you the information, I'm sitting on a soapbox. Because I ain't in the grind no more. So the grind, the years of grind, once you remove yourself from it, that shit don't account for shit no more. That's that nigga shit that I was talking about. So the next person grind, once they figure out a way up out that shit don't account for nothing no more if I'm still in it. And this is why we behind the 8 ball. It's like that crab in the barrel shit. But see, I ain't finna let you pull me back into that barrel. You ain't finna do it. I'm not finna come nowhere near that ignorant ass barrel. When I see that barrel of crabs, I stay the fuck away from it. I don't want to get close to it because one might jump out and grab my hand and try to pull me, and then they all gonna grind. I don't want to go get close to that barrel. If it ain't a barrel with people that's reaching up so I can reach down there and pull them up out of it, then nah. If you ain't trying to get pulled up out of it, then I don't want to talk to you. If you trying to pull me down in your miserable barrel, I'm not going near that barrel. I don't want to be in that barrel. But that's us. We love to count other people's pockets and pull them down. I was watching I forget who I was watching. It was a few months ago. It was talking about who got over on people during the pandemic. Who got over on black people the most during the pandemic, 2020 and 2021. And you know who got over on black people the most during the pandemic? Black people. Black people got over on black people. Black people gave people the sauce. They told them about Blue Vine. They showed them how to get different unemployments in multiple different states. They showed them all the little, what was that little shit going on back in during the pandemic? The flour thing, all the little licks. Then the box truck thing came, and then you had the people who had never been in this business before, who's never did this shit before until they did it. They got them a box truck or a rental, and then they started selling courses and mentorship, which is to me is fine. But my only gripe with that is if you're not experienced enough, I feel like you shouldn't be educated. Like there's a barrier to entry when it comes to educating somebody. You can't go and teach at a school without having a degree in education. If you doing like grammar school, like K-8, you got to get a degree in like early childhood education. If you want to teach special ed students, you have to go back and get a certification and degree. I believe it's a master's degree, a type 75 in special ed. There's a barrier to entry, right? So there's some level of education and or experience that you gotta have, right? All right. So there's no uh education that you have to get to be able to teach someone about trucking, but I believe where the education gets replaced is the experience. Because if a person is going to spend their money with you, you should have enough experience to be able to navigate them through any and everything, right? You've seen enough because of your tenure to be able to get a person to success. And when they do run across obstacles, you should be able to navigate them around them. And I just think that there's a level of experience that comes along with it. But other than that, no, consultation and consultants have been around since before I was born. It's just you have to have a level of experience or education, that barrier to entry of education, to be able to do that. A lot of the security firms that you see are retired police officers. So once they retire, they start consulting firms in security, or they start a security firm business. So there's nothing wrong with it, but you but you gotta have that barrier to entry, or that experience level there. That's my only gripe. But you know what? It was a lot of people that didn't have it, and you know where you get mad at it when I so yo you bought it though. See, when you come up here and you complain about it, I said, well, you bought it. The person didn't lie about their journey. They show right there. You go back and you look through their channel. They started in 2020, 2021. You started in 2020, 2021. So how are you mad at a person that literally started at the same time you did? What did you get? And then you get mad at me for telling you how crazy you look. So I'm confused. I don't know what you want me to do. What do you want me to do? It is what it is. All right, man, I'm gonna answer these questions. We're gonna do this Q&A, man, because I'm just confused now. I don't know what you want. Dad says, I learned so much from Mark and the community. The knowledge is real and authentic. Appreciate you. Ariel Carter says, Dad, you ain't lying. I was late to register for school today. LOL, because I was up looking at Mark's lives and shows he did recently. Had me up to 3 a.m. He stayed dropping gems. Appreciate that. All right, let's see where the questions at. Michael says, true, I came in with 4 to 5 and lost. So Michael came in with 4 to 5,000 and didn't get far because it's just not enough money. Let's see. Let me see. Q&A. Shout out Ariel. What's going on? Let's see. Ace says you can't save everybody. You right. And I ain't trying. I ain't gonna try. You know. We Carefree said keep doing what you're doing. People will complain no matter how you put it. Oh, definitely. Definitely. All right, here go a question. Mark, I have a question. What you think of Chase and other banks offering new LLC credit cards, 0% interest for 6 to 8 months, depending on the bank's their requirements? I don't think there's nothing wrong with a business credit card. I've said that in the past. I wouldn't use it if you don't need to. I would keep a business credit card for like emergency uses only. You know what I'm saying? So I've always been, I always like to champion use what you have, right? And I think that is what saved me from a lot of headaches. Just using what we have. We got cash flow. I'm going to use what's in the cash flow. But a credit card is good to have at least one or two. I think in case of emergency, there's nothing wrong with it. Build up and to build up your business credit. Maybe use 30%, pay it off. All right, so this is the Q&A. So Captured by O says you gotta turn your notification on. You 53 minutes late. All right. This is the Q&A part. Somebody told me, I think it was Great Post, said, man, you ain't did a Q&A in a minute. So here go the Q&A. Now's your chance. I know somebody was in the chat last night. See, it's gonna always be people in the chat when there's some fireworks going on. They see smoke show, they see call-in show. Oh, it's time to go laugh at somebody else's, and the whole time you failing too. You want to go laugh at somebody else, but you ain't gonna hit that link and come up here and get this accountability yourself, and get the information that you need to get you on the straight and narrow. That's what's crazy to me. So, or you talk shit from the chat and won't hit the link. All right, any questions? That's all I had to talk. I wasn't gonna do a live today, but I wanted to talk about how confused I am. I'm really confused. This the Q&A. This is the time you can come ask your questions without even hitting the link. See what I'm saying? It ain't people ain't gonna do it because they ain't in here. The people who need to be in here, they ain't in here because it ain't no fireworks going on. Right? It ain't no fireworks like Buddy last night with his whole ass truck. Now's the time he can ask questions about his whole ass truck, and he ain't here. All right, what's your question? I didn't plan on dropping the link, but if you want to come up, that's fine. If you're going to be long-winded, then you want to have a conversation, then I'll drop it. But if you got a question, you can just put it in the chat. Oh, MW Lou he in the chat. Look at MW Lou. Look at MW Lou in the chat from last night. Look at him lurking. Look, I knew he was lurking. That's why I said what I said. Hey, MW Lou, I got you again. See how I get you? I know how to get you. I know how to get you. Know what you lurking for? You should have just let us know you was here. I already knew you was here. That's why I said with your whole ass truck. I said, watch you pop up. He gonna pop up like remember how Sting used to pop up back in the day on Nitro, Monday Nitro? He used to pop up at the end of the show in the rafters. There goes Sting. There goes Sting. And then the show would go off. That's how MW Lou just popped up. Hey, MW Lou popped up like how Sting used to pop up at the end of Monday Night Nitro back in the day. Then you'll flick the channel to Monday Night Raw and see if Stone Cold was finna come out or DX was finna come out and beat somebody up. NW Lou say he driving. All right. What you want to talk, NW Lou? You got something that you want to talk about? You want to hit the link? You want to finish our conversation from last night? I'll give you a chance to talk to me sober, man, because that you was. But if you standing on what you said, then hey, we'll stand on it. Stand on that. Oh. Wait a minute, what you driving? I thought you was working a job. What you do for a living? Because you said your whole ass box truck was parked. You said your whole ass truck was parked in the lot. So I'm trying to figure out, is you driving that hoe today? Is you driving that hoe? Oh shit. Man, everybody want to hit the link, bro. All right, man. Come on, man. I didn't plan on dropping the link, but man. Come on, man. Hey, MW Lou, you driving that whole ass box truck today? Oh, man. Woo, Charlie. NW Lou. NW Lou. Hit the like button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit the like button if you want NW Lou to come back up. If you want NW Lou to come back up, hit the like button. There go the link. It's in the chat. Whoever that was that wanted to come up. Jeffrey. It was Jeffrey. And it was one more person I saw. Empty says, what up, Mark? Been peeping the scene for a few months. I already figured out a lot of stuff. I already figured a lot of stuff out. Now I'm at the point to where I need to take that leap. I currently own a business at the moment, but need help. All right, what type of help you need? MW Lou said, I got it. He said, I got it. You gonna catch me on another one. Okay. All right. All right. All right. I just wanted to know. You said you driving, so I didn't know if you was driving that hoe. I didn't know if you was driving that hoe or not. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. That man said, man, this whole ass box truck. Hell no, bro. That shit had me dying. Look, hey, MW Lou, after I got the live stream, we didn't even go nowhere last night. We ordered Chinese food, and we sat here and watched that live again. We watched it on the big screen in the living room. Look, NW Lou. NW Lou, listen, I fucks with NW Lou. I mess with NW Lou. Hey, NW Lou, that was a great stream last night, man. It was great, bro. We stayed in the crib. We ordered Chinese food, and we watched me versus NW Lou, and that was great. You kept me in the house last night, NW Lou. You kept me in. You all right, MW Lou. You all right with me. You welcome on the channel anytime. Oh, shit. Oh, man. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, man. Hey, Jeffrey, I'm waiting on you, bro. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. Empty says, do I think it'll be worth starting my owner operator in Texas. I'm married with no kids, but I'm an amputee, so we work together. I don't know. You said you're an amputee? I don't even know what type of. I want to ask you a question, but I don't even know if I should ask you or not, man. To be honest with you, an amputee? I don't even know how to respond to that, bro. I mean, does your wife? Like, what do you? What do you? I don't even know the proper way to. Like, I don't want to like. I don't even know how to ask you. I think you know what I'm gonna ask you. What are you trying to do? You trying to get a box truck? What are you trying to do? A box truck or a semi truck or a cargo van? What are you trying to do? And you looking to go to yard with your wife? Well, I'm assuming if you and your wife are going to do it together, I, I think that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't think both of you going to be able to sleep in the box truck. A lot of box truck guys that go over the road, they sleep on their in their box truck to cut costs. So you're definitely going to have to get rooms. Uh now I'm assuming you can legally drive with a prosthetic leg. I'm not educated on amputees and prosthetic legs, so I don't, I'm ignorant to that fact. So I don't know what it's like driving like that, or so I don't like. I really don't know what to tell you in that aspect. But the only thing I could tell you about the trucking is, if you do plan on coming out, going over the road, just make sure that you come in. Um, with a low overhead cost, as low as possible. Whatever you need to do to uh uh get your costs as low as possible. I would definitely do that. I think the industry is really, really competitive right now. I think it's going to remain as competitive as it is. Um, so what you're dealing with, what you may be hearing people talk about, since you said you've been doing research, there's a lot of complaining about rates and things of that nature. I think it's going to stay this way. All right. I've been saying this is going to be the new norm. You still have people that are coming in. There's people exiting. But what a lot of people don't understand with the people that are exiting, especially like on that semi truck side, that capacity still exists, right? When a person exits the industry, let's say from an owner operator's perspective, but then they go work for a company, there's that capacity still is here. So I think that's why, a lot of people haven't seen the capacity go down to what they would expect it to go down to ultimately drive up rates. It's just a person getting out of one truck and getting into another truck. So, and then I believe within the next 1 to 3 years, you're going to have a new infusion of people coming into the trucking space once they become documented citizens and things of that nature. So I think, and also another thing is as long as people want to continue to work for themselves, and we're in this culture where people don't want to work traditional jobs. I have people come up on my show that are in their 40s and 50s that are quitting their jobs they've been on 15, 20 years to go get a box truck. So everyone is in this mental state where they don't want to work for anybody anymore. Everybody wants to work for themselves, and trucking is just one of those things that, on the semi side, there's that CDL, that barrier to entry, but on the box truck side, there's really no barrier to entry, and everyone's coming in. So I don't see the competition going in anywhere. So you want to make sure that you come in as low as possible. So and you're looking at that from a business perspective, and also um your personal living uh, uh, perspective as well, because what I've seen since I've been on YouTube is the reason why a lot of people's businesses they can't sustain is because their cost of living. They rob from their business every day to cover their cost of living, right? So if you already have, and this is what happens with a lot of people who leave their jobs that they've been on for years. They've been on their jobs. They're making $125,000 a year. They've acquired a lifestyle that equals out to what they're making. They have a home. They have a mortgage. They have a wife. They have children. They have a couple car notes and things of that nature. And then they get into this industry and they realize that the cost of running a business, they didn't account for that. So now they're making less money and they don't have enough money after the cost of operating a business to sustain the business or their household. So then they end up robbing from the sustainability of the business to cover their living expenses. And we've shown that over and over again on the call and show testimonials with people who say, oh, I got to take care of home. I got to take care of home. And then one incident happens, right? Because you don't have any cash flow. And that incident can happen within the business or it can happen at home. If you have a wife at home and you only got $1,000 or $1,500 or $2,000, $3,000 to your name, and the furnace goes out at home, what are you gonna do? You're gonna get the furnace fixed, and then your box truck career is over with. So you have to make sure that you lower your cost at home as well. So. All right. Well, if you don't have kids or big bills, so then yeah, just make sure you come in as low as possible. As low as possible so that you can compete. Look at the current rates, look what the rates are going for, and try to factor all that in so that you can compete. Right? I know you hear this magic number of $2 a mile, $2 a mile, $2 a mile. But in reality, man, a lot of these guys, they're not getting $2 a mile. All right. Make sure that your cost is as low as possible so that you can compete. A lot of these guys' cost per mile is $2 a mile, and they don't even know it because they don't know what their cost per mile is, or they don't even care about it. They don't know what their cost per mile is. Make sure you come in as low as possible so you can compete and beat all the guys who don't want to do what's in their best interest. What advice do you have for a new authority like myself? New authority like yourself is going to be a little tough because a lot of brokers ain't going to want to deal with you, man. So get you a broker get you a dispatcher temporarily that has relationship with brokers that will work with a new authority. If you want, you could lease on to someone that has a tenured authority and run with them for a short while until your authority becomes mature, or have enough cash flow to withstand that time period where brokers aren't going to want to deal with you because you're new. So do I think it's possible to start a new part-time box trucking? Well, trucking is kind of a full-time thing. I mean, if you got the money to purchase a box truck just to do it part-time, I actually got a subscriber who is looking to do it part-time. They bought a box truck about a year ago, and it's just been sitting. They haven't even ran it yet. They have a good job. They make a lot of money, and they want to do the box truck thing part-time. They've just been paying a note. So, I mean, if you're in a position like that where you can just withstand paying a note for a truck that you may run 2 days out the week, so be it. But it's not really a business that's a part-time business. So Empty says, yes, sounds like I fit the criteria. Appreciate all your input. Wish I had homies like you growing up. I won't have ended up where I'm at. I was misled, but I'm on track and left them in my past. Man, that's good, man. Sounds like you had that walk to the mirror that I talked about the other day, where you looked in the mirror and you held yourself accountable. So congratulations on you doing that. And it should only be up from here, man. It should only be up here, man. And that's proof right there. You know, there's nothing wrong. When I talked about that day the other day, and here's the thing too. Let me say this. A lot of my live streams, I think some people just don't get. That whole live stream about they, look in the mirror and pointing that's self-accountability. Looking in the mirror and holding yourself accountable. It's just like anybody else that was going down a path of destruction in their early years, and then they had to have that conversation with themselves, and they had to have that conversation with God and say, hey, listen, I'm gonna stop doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna stop selling drugs. I'm gonna stop using drugs. I'm gonna stop uh scamming. I'm gonna stop, complaining and blaming everybody, and I'm gonna hold myself accountable for my actions, and I'm gonna do better. So that's all that they was about. All right. Uh, and that's what I'm saying. Like, people take the content. It's content at the end of the day. I have to, I want to make it somewhat digestible. All right. So if you want me to just be cut and dry and monotone, that's even better for me, because now I don't have to think about this shit, and I could just go. I don't think about what I'm gonna say. I just get up here and just kick it. But I do have to think about the topics that I want to talk about and how I'm going to present it, and try to be creative as much as possible. Uh, but yeah, that shit was just self accountability. That's it. That's it. Um, yeah, I did that when I lost my leg in my life, or almost lost my life. Got to. Yeah, I'm glad you. It seems like you on the straight and narrow now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it should only be up from here, man. So congratulations on turning your life around. Yeah, congratulations, man. That's all that they live stream was about. Some of y'all just too emotional, man. Y'all take shit people say personal. Somebody in the thing this morning talking crazy, man. Like, people just be talking crazy because they miss the point, or the point goes over their head. So, it is what it is. They was just self-accountability. They was self-accountability. Holding yourself accountable. You don't need me to hold you accountable. You can hold yourself accountable. The only thing I'm telling you to do is stop making these crazy ass decisions. Do what's in your best interest. And I've said it over and over and over. Educate yourself, educate yourself, educate yourself. But you refuse to do it. So I don't know. I don't know. And that's why I do like the smoke show. I could do the call-in show. I could drop the link and be confident, not knowing who gonna come up here, because I know what I'm talking about. There was a guy in one of my things said, I'm lying to y'all. Oh man, you lying to these people. How? About what? Everything that I've said has came into fruition. I told you, everything that I talk about has come into fruition. You show me somebody that complains about cheap freight, right? I'm lying about cheap freight. It don't exist. You show me somebody that complain about cheap freight, and I've shown and proven. I'm gonna show you somebody who don't know what it costs to run their business, or somebody who make poor decisions, whether they make poor business decisions, poor personal decisions, or a combination of both, or somebody who don't know what it costs to run their business. So ain't a lie, it's the truth. Because there's people out here that don't say that shit that's winning. It to the people that complain, before I get out of here, you think that everybody is not that's losing? You think everybody is losing? If everybody was losing, it wouldn't be people out here doing this shit. There's definitely people winning. There's a lot of people winning. There's a lot of people winning. There's a lot of people that adapt. There's a lot of people that transition. So complaining is not going to stop anything. There's people that are absolutely winning, and those people that are winning, they're not complaining. Everybody that comes up here and complains, from now on, this is what I'm going to do. Like I did last night. Because it always comes back to self. Mad at yourself. So It is what it is. All right. Any more questions? Let me see. I want to make sure I miss nobody. I guess who was that said they wanted to come up and talk? Jeffrey said, "Can he hit the link? The link been up there. What I told you, when the link dropped, the heart stop. Even the people that ask and request the link don't come up for the link. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. Jeffrey, what's going on? I gotta hit the gym, big dog. You know how the gym be on Monday at 5 at prime time, man. You can't get on a machine. I'm trying to get to the gym, big dog. No, you know what? It's leg day. It's leg day, so I should be all right. You know, people don't like doing legs, so it's leg day, so I might be all right. All right. So Jeffrey, what you gonna do, bro? The link pinned to the top of the chat. Empty say he at the gym right now. That's what's up. That's what's up. Gotta get it in. Jeffrey, what you gonna do? You gonna hit that link, sir? Thanks, Mark, for your response. Just want to start part-time until I get enough experience and knowledge of the box trucking world to then hit full-time when I would have enough confidence. I think you should come in with confidence. If you coming in and you don't have confidence, I don't think that's good. I think you should make sure that you have enough information to give you the confidence that you need from day one. You're not going to be fully knowledgeable, but you should be confident. If you got half confidence, then that's not good.
Hold on. Hey, what's up, man? Hold on. Let me see if I can get you on my headset, man. I don't know what's going on here. Let me pull over here right quick. Sorry about that, Mark. I'm driving between Phoenix and LA, and I just drove right into a desert and just lost all my signal.
We hear you, though.
Hold on. I'm pulling into a rest stop right now to see if I can get this on the headset. I can't hear you right now. I just left my headset. Parking spots. How do I get you in my headset?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you through my phone.
Well, if you're on the
Hey.
Yo. So you should
I
go
got it
where
working,
you.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
What's
I have to
going
just
on?
reset the headset. How you doing, Mark? Sorry about that, man. I was
Good. How are
just
you?
driving through the dead zone and I just lost all signal.
Oh, that's all good. What's up with you?
So not much, man. I just my authority's not even a month old, you know. I'm a new cat on the road, you know. And I've been watching your lives and kind of shocked at how many people are coming in thinking that it's all sweet out here. Um, you know, I don't know if you could drop a few gems um, on surviving on the spot market here. It's kind of rough out here.
When did you start watching my content? How long?
Um, like 6 months or something like that. Not too
You,
long. Not
you said
crazy long.
6 months?
Yeah, 6 months, something like
Oh,
that.
I talk about the
Not
spot
not
market.
seriously long or anything.
I talk about the spot market all the time. It's competitive. It's competitive.
Right.
That's what the spot market is.
So
It's
is it?
a
I was just
cesspool of
wondering.
competition.
Right, right. So, you know, I'm out here just trying to mature my authority, but you have a lot of experience in this industry, and I was just wondering, is it even possible for a solo box truck owner operator to even secure contracts or any dedicated lanes or anything like that?
Yeah, you can get a dedicated route.
Uh, Maybe I didn't catch the content when you may have talked about that, but any uh,
Where are you located? Where
any
you at?
suggestions on? So I'm going anywhere right now. So obviously I'm driving into California right now, but
No.
I live in
What's your home
Atlanta,
market?
Georgia.
All
Hey,
right, so
Atlanta,
just look for a dedicated route in Atlanta, Georgia. Look for a curbside route with a 3PL in Atlanta, Georgia.
curbside route three. So do you like 3PL, like Nolan Transportation Group, that kind of stuff?
No, a 3PL, third party logistics company, T Force, Capstone, companies like that. I don't think Nolan Transportation Group
T-Force
is gonna.
Capstone.
I don't think Nolan has box truck curbside contract. It's more of a traditional semi truck company. It's more of a
Okay.
trucking company. You need to get on with a 3PL. So your authority is new. So some of these companies, I'm not even gonna waste my time even mentioning to you. I think T
Right. No,
Force
I
now.
think that's why I'm just kind of surfing the spot market right now because I understand the realities of it. I'm still very new. I have
Hmm.
experience. I've driven a box truck OTR as a company driver for about a year during the pandemic.
Hmm.
That's kind of where I got the experience, the knowledge. I
Hmm.
learned on someone else's dime, really. I made a lot of mistakes that first year.
Hmm.
Um, but, something about being on the road, I like it. So I like being my own boss. Guess that's what everybody says, I guess. The truck's bought. I bought this truck. It's a 2020 Peterbilt 337. It gets great gas mileage. I purposely look for the right engine, Packard PX7, rear gears 4.88, 260 horsepower. Uh, truck. So you're saying contact 3PL company, see if I can get dedicated routes?
Yeah, you got to find a 3PL down in that market though that's still gonna work with you. A lot of the 3PL companies would work with new authorities, but the pandemic kind of messed it up. Pandemic messed it up for future people that were going to be coming into the industry like how you are now. So prior to the pandemic, like 3PLs would deal with new people. But you got some 3PLs now that won't deal with new people. A lot of the shit that happened during the
Uh,
pandemic
is
has
is the wait
made
time like 6 months or?
it
I I,
depends on the
I believe it.
3PL.
I believe it.
Yeah, that
Okay.
depends. The wait time depends on
Okay.
the 3PL. I know TQL has a dedicated. Here's the thing with these curbside contracts, because I actually did a live stream maybe about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, where I talked about getting curbside contracts, and because they were still plentiful. And I'm like, listen, these contracts are gonna go. Get one now, locking in, because things are gonna change. The thing with these curbside contracts are when people do get lucky enough to get one now, they hold on to them. The turnover on these curbside contracts
Mhm.
is not high. You know what I'm saying? Because you got people. I got
Yeah, I
subs
would
that are
imagine. Yeah,
running.
it's
I got a sub that's running for RNL. He does $1,000 a day. It's local. Sleeps in his bed every night. You got people that are
you're
running
kidding.
tire. You got people that are
Wow.
running tire routes locally for $800 a day. But see, they're not letting this shit go because they're
Wow.
they're they're local. They sleep at home,
No, I wouldn't either.
and so the turnover is not there for these contracts to be available like that. So if you are lucky enough
Okay.
to get one, you know what I'm saying, then I will hold on to it. But yeah, you have local accounts. Now, not all of them are gonna pay like that. You got some that are more seasonal. Like T Force has one,
Right.
AIT has one. Those are like 700 to 750, 775 a day, which is still uh
And what kind of mileage do they generally obligate you to for that kind of money?
100, 150 miles. All depends on your area. So,
Well, that's really good. I mean, I
so
can see why they don't let them go. I wouldn't let that go
and
either.
and I had a sub who had an RNL account, was making great money. His truck broke down, and they didn't waste no time replacing him. So yeah, so
Oh wow.
those contracts
Okay.
when you get them, that's like
Cutthroat.
it's like a yeah, it's cutthroat, and if you don't have a plan and I told that guy, I said rent a truck, rent a truck. He didn't rent a truck, and I said rent a truck until your truck gets didn't rent a truck. So
That'd be
I
smart.
had
Yeah. So
I
then,
had I think I had
and you
two
lost the
subs
contract.
that I had two subs that ran into that situation, didn't rent a truck and lost the contract, didn't rent the truck while their truck was being serviced, so ended up losing it. Um,
Right.
but yeah, so yeah, those contracts
And
exist.
these gig apps,
It's not
are
something
the
that
are the
it's
gig
not.
apps pretty good? Like Curve and stuff.
If you can get a dedicated route with Curry, yeah. But if you don't have a dedicated route,
Okay. Okay.
Curry doesn't have enough contracts to the point where
Okay.
everybody's gonna
That
be
makes
happy. So uh I don't listen, a gig app is to supplement something else. A gig app is not there to base your
Yep.
business
That's what I
around,
figured.
right? Now,
Yep.
if you get offered a route with Curry, then yeah, they have some good, decent paying routes. But like I said, those routes aren't plentiful. If they contact you and say, "Hey, we got this route and it pays this much," then yeah, you know what I'm saying. But what I see with Curry, if something pops up, sometimes when it pops up, that little 5 seconds they give you to read it over before it turns over and lets you know what the rate is, sometimes it flashes from that to already claimed. You don't even see how much it was because you got people with bots and all type of stuff nowadays. And if you do see the price flash real quick, by
Right.
the time you flick the screen up and hit accept and then read that and hit accept, you really can't even read shit no more. You really can't even read the scope of the shit. You got to be quick like that because there's people
Right.
that are flipping that shit, accept, and they don't even read it. You know what I'm saying? Or there's got to be some type of bots because I see shit come across where it'll pop up, it'll flash red. You're waiting for it to go yellow where you can see the price, and it doesn't even go yellow. It goes straight from red to
The
gray,
information.
already claimed. So I don't suggest getting a
So
box truck to run
it's not it's not
a
reliable.
gig app. I wouldn't say it's not reliable. It's doing what it's supposed to do. It's a gig app, a supplement. Like the whole gig economy from 4 years ago,
Right.
not from the trucking space, but let's say from the food space and from let's say the ride sharing space and things like that, where people were building real careers around the gig economy. It's not as sweet as it once was. Even with the trucking side, when these gig apps first started to come on, there was less competition. There's more competition now. So you got people with cargo vans now, right? And you have a lot more competition.
Right.
So there's only enough work to go around. There's not enough work to go around for everybody.
Right. Okay. That's why I figured, trying to secure dedicated contracts and stuff might be a more sustainable strategy. Or you think one can make it just on the spot market?
Yeah, people make it on the spot market all day, every day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Well, the last time, I was out on the road, again, it was the pandemic time. So back then, contract, the loads just kept coming. And I know
Well,
we're not in that
well,
same situation anymore.
that's the thing, and I say it all the time. And people miss when I say shit like how you just asked me and said, "Oh, can you make it on the spot market?" And I said yes. People miss that, right? the thing with the spot market then is you listen, there's no way you could have failed. If you failed during the pandemic, you were just a retard.
You were just terrible.
You were just horrible. I don't care what your cost was, none of that. Like shit was just paying exorbitant amounts of money, and like you said, the opportunities were endless. There was more opportunity, there was supply, right? And
right.
And that's why so many people got caught up in that euphoric phase, and they just didn't understand business and just thought this was the way. And then as soon as things started to normalize and people had to use their brain, this is when people started complaining.
That was it. It was a wrap.
They don't want to use their brain.
I guess.
But then the people that did want to use their brain, they realized that the way they entered, even with using their brain, there would be no way they would be able to sustain because their operation cost was too high because they came in and bought in too high. They bought a truck that was overpriced. Everything is high. And now prices are back normal.
Right.
They just can't sustain. But yeah, now it's just a lot more competition, and you have to be a lot more sharper on your feet.
Right. Well, fortunately, I took in all that information, and if I was going to come into this space, I wanted to come in with the least amount of overhead. And I've calculated my cost a mile per, if I drove 1,000 miles, 2,000 miles, whatever, all the way up to 10,000 miles. And the sweet spot's around 8,000, 8,500 miles. My costs are right around 50 to 55 cents a mile.
Wait. You said your cost per mile is 55 cents a mile?
I don't have a truck payment. Truck's bought out.
Have you recouped the money?
You're right. I have not recouped the money yet, so I haven't calculated that portion of the cost per mile. You're right. I haven't included that per se. How would you include that? Say I bought this truck for $60,000.
How long are you going to take to pay yourself back? What type of payment plan do you got to pay yourself back? Because you loaned the business the money, right?
Basically,
right.
Yeah. I mean, it was my cash.
The business needs to pay you back. You need to incorporate that into your cost per mile. Are you going to take 4 years to pay yourself back? Or are you going to pay yourself back in 36 months? Are you going to pay yourself back in 60 months, 72 months? So create a payment.
That's right.
And pay yourself back monthly and incorporate that into your cost per mile. And that's another thing. Like, just because you bought the truck, you still have to recoup. You have to pay yourself back. The business has to pay you back.
Right. I'm definitely in the recoup phase right now. Well.
So create a payment structure to pay for the business to pay you back, and then you just calculate that monthly payment into your cost per mile. So your cost per mile is not 55 cents.
Until I recoup.
Until you recoup, and when you recoup, I'm pretty sure your other payments aren't going to be the same. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how long you recoup. But right now, you do need to add a truck note into your cost per mile. Business has to pay you back. You loaned the business money. The business has to pay you back. You need that write-off anyway. Why? You got to pay yourself back. You need the write-off. Did you write a check to the business? How did you do it? Or did you buy the truck in your personal name?
I bought it. So I bought it under my business name.
And how did you give the business the money?
It was my cash. I created the LLC, all the authority and everything that I got to do. And then I transferred my cash into my business account with Bank of America. And then I created a cashier's check and bought the truck.
Okay. Me personally, I would have just wrote a check from my personal checking account to the business, and in the memo, I would have put loan. So now that's on the statement. So now that when the accountant sees the taxes, this was a credit, right? But now there's a that has to be paid back. So now that loan is getting paid back, right? And it's kind of acting as like me paying a finance company, right? But you're just paying yourself back. So now that, let's say you do $1,000 a month for 60 months, right? So 5 years at $1,000 a month. All right, 60 months. Now that $1,000, I would incorporate that $1,000 into my cost per mile.
Cost per mile. Okay. That's a good tip. I didn't really, I worked out all the other costs, but I guess I didn't put the loan that I
Because
gave myself into my
you
cost.
gave the business that money. Now you have to pay
Yes.
yourself back, but you needed to write it off. So you're gonna recoup the money by paying that loan back from the business back to you personally. So then at the business,
Okay.
I would write a business check to your person,
Okay.
and then do it that way. So now there's statements. So when you deposit it, there you see that on the statement. That way you have good checks and balances.
So write a check from the business account to me
That's how
as a
I've
payment.
always done it. That's how I've
Okay.
always done it. So if let's say
It's
I
a good
loan the
it's a good
business
tip.
money personally, I write a check. I don't
Right.
transfer anything. I just write a check from my personal account to the business account. Right?
Okay.
Nowadays, you just take the picture from your phone. It's going to deposit it. But when you see your statement, it's going to show the picture. So when you give your statements every month to your CPA, they're going to see everything. And then in the memo, you put loan. And then when you pay yourself back, you just write a check from the business checking account. This may be old fashioned, but I'm an old guy. So this type of
Sometimes old fashioned's good.
Take your phone and take the picture of all this shit. You write a check from the business to your person, and then you put payment 1 of 60, loan payment 1 of 60, loan payment 2 of 60, loan payment 3 of 60 for 60 months until it's paid back. If you want to had a good month and you want to double up, you want to send 2,000, loan double 3 or 4 of 60. So, but you know, in the memo, you're making sure you're keeping account. So now when your CPA looks at it, and then they look at all the screenshots of the checks that came in or went out, when he sees the memo, they know how to itemize that into the right category.
So I guess just wiring between accounts wouldn't work the same way?
I mean, I wouldn't do that. I've never done that because I like to keep checks and balances. You know what I'm saying? Because you could wire, it could come in, but don't you know, like when you wire money from your personal, or you transfer money from your personal to, let's say, your business, it may say your name, or it may just have like some funky code. It may just have some funky code, or the name of the bank and some funky code, right? So now your CPA is going to be confused when it's tax time, and they're going to be like, yo, back in July, we saw $1,000 come out of the business account, but there's nothing associated, or it just says your name, or it has some funky code, and they're going to like, what was this for?
Right.
And then you may remember, you may not remember. You know what I'm saying? So me personally,
that's a good tip.
I like to, you know, and this is just the old way that I've been doing things since over 10 years ago.
Right.
Because that way, when you see it on the statement, you see the check, it says what it is, loan payment, paid to the order of, blah, 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 write the check out, and then in the memo, loan payment 1 of 60, loan payment 2 of 60, loan payment 3 of 60. And that way you have checks and balances. You don't got to worry about the CPA not understanding what this is for. It's right there for you.
Okay. That's a good tip, Mark. I didn't even, I learned something new today.
No problem.
I appreciate that.
That's all good.
All right. Well, I don't know if I have any other specific questions other than I appreciate, you know, the content you put out there, and I like your no nonsense style, man. You know, I've watched all the other YouTubers out there in the box truck space, and they all seem like they sugarcoat it, or they advertise their best week, and they say this is what we make, and there's no way you're gonna make that every week. You know what I'm talking about. I guess that's where it's like a Venus flytrap for some of the naive folks out there.
Hey, man, I'm from a city where shit happens all day. Some people just know things are too good to be true, and then there's a bunch of people that don't. There's a bunch of naive people. I call them middle Americans. You know, it's a bunch of middle Americans out here, you know. So, you know, some people that are from certain places, they just know better. When they see certain things, they just know better. You know what I'm saying? And some people aren't. And some people are just naive. They think that things are simple. So when people sell them simple, they buy into simple. When you explain things, like somebody told me, I was going through some old live stream and said, "Man, you make a person don't want to come in." I'm not. Why? Because I'm telling you what it really is like, and this is what you're gonna have to do. So now that you know you're gonna have to work, and you're gonna have to think and use your brain, you don't want to come in. You thought it was simple as getting this authority, getting this articles of incorporation, your EIN and all that shit, going on a load board, looking at, because they look, this is the way they do it. They go on a load board, they see 1,300 and they book it. And then they say, "Oh, I don't care about cost per mile or what's cost per mile or why I need that for." I had people ask me what I need a plan for, why I need to know this for. Man, I just go on a load board and book a load for 1,200, not understanding that, yo, it may cost you more than 1,200 to complete that load.
No, it's very true. No, when I look at the load board, I'm always crunching the numbers.
Right. So, I had a guy come up, he ran a load cross the country for $3,500. I had another guy come up, he ran 1,400 miles for $1,000.
Oh no. Oh.
He saw $1,000. Oh my God, this is $1,000.
That's a sucker's bet.
I'm finna drive. Oh my God. Yeah, so he saw $1,000 all in one whop. Because, people, they used to working a job for a week or two to see that type of money. He saw $1,000 all in one whop. I'm just going to drive. This guy I don't even think he had, it's something that he didn't have. I forget, but then he drove all the way there. Halfway he got there, he clicked the link. He was already out $600-700 in fuel. So he realized after his second fuel up that he messed up. And I happened to be live that day, and he clicked the link and came up. So what I don't understand is why people get upset with me when people are clicking the link and coming up with these stories. I'm not forcing nobody to click that link. I'm not jumping through the screen, grabbing their finger, touching the link, typing their name in. I'm not doing that shit. So if you look at a load and you see $1,000 and then you see 1,400 miles, if it doesn't dawn on you that that's less than $1 a mile, like, why should I feel bad for you? Why should I feel bad for you that you didn't even take the time to investigate what you was getting yourself into? No. You need to somebody need to hold you accountable. You know what I'm saying? Somebody need to hold you accountable. You need to hold yourself accountable. I don't feel bad for a person like that.
I don't think you should. I think those people are generally just they don't want to hear the truth. The truth hurts. We all know that saying.
Yeah, it hurts. So it is what it is. So that's just, when you put out the content that exposes the reality, because what this is when I do that call-in show and then a lot of people who don't watch it or didn't watch a lot of those earlier episodes and you put out these clips, it's just reality. It's almost like a reality show. This is the reality of what people are going through. This is the reality and the aftermath of what the pandemic created what this whole culture of I don't want to work for nobody. And it's to the point now where I have people coming up there in their 40s and their 50s. They have been on their job 20 years. They're talking about quitting their job. I'm like, bro, you only got 10 more years to go. Just go ahead and finish. Get the what?
A lot of risk.
Get the full. Like, what are you doing? Like, just you thugged it out this long. Finish it up. Nah, I just can't take it no more. Like, to me, it's this between the pandemic and this whole culture. Like, I don't know. How old are you? I'm not a part of this culture.
36.
So you like a millennial?
36.
Yeah. So you kind of like, yeah, you a part of the culture. You a part of a culture.
The culture.
Yeah, you a part of it. You may not be ignorant, maybe like some some of the people in the culture, but unfortunately that's your culture. Them your people. Them people is your
That's
people.
true.
So
Hey, you know,
but
I can't deny that. You know, bad ones will
and,
ruin the good bunch. So it
yeah,
is what it
and
is, I guess.
I just think they need to figure this shit out. And what they don't understand is that yeah, you don't want to work, you want to build your own business, which is you can do. It's tough, but to build your own business and to acquire the things that you want to acquire that the generation before you and the generation before you acquired, it's going to be harder because now everything is so much higher and there's
Right.
a bigger cesspool of people trying to do what you want to do. So where I think the disconnect is they don't understand that. See, it was
Yeah,
a
and I'm
lot
not afraid
easier.
to work. I mean, I feel like I'm working a lot harder out on the road than I have ever, you know, any job I've ever had at home.
Oh
I
yeah,
could safely say that.
yeah.
this, this
You're
is
gonna
all
work harder.
100% sacrifice.
Yeah, you're gonna work harder for yourself. And that's another thing that I think is a disconnect. And I tell people this all the time. Like, you're gonna work harder. They come up and they say, man, why I ask them, why you want to start a box distributor? Oh, because I want to break the curse generation with I'm tired of working. They'll say, I'm tired of working. I'm like, well, you're gonna work harder for yourself than you are for any business. Well, I'll work for myself. But if you're tired of some of the jobs that they doing is just not even, I don't like the level of work that you're gonna have to do for yourself that I don't think a lot of people are ready for. They just don't know.
Right.
So there's a
Right.
disconnect. And then they don't understand that the shit that they want to start their business for, this instant gratification and the shit that they see on the internet, like that shit costs a lot of money nowadays. Like it was easy for me, right? Because my that time period, it was less people coming in, there was more opportunity, it was easy to hire people, and the cost to operate isn't as high as it is now. And the rates are the
Right.
same. And I say this shit all the time, and I get pushback, but I showed it. Like, dude, I was getting $600 guaranteed, and people are getting 600 right now, 625, 650 to do Bob's. I was getting 600 in 2013 to do IKEA, guaranteed. They're getting 650 to do Bob's now. It's the same fucking thing. But guess what? It didn't cost me half as much as it cost the person now to make that 650 than it did to make me for me to make that 600. So because 600 took you a lot farther back then, profit margin was bigger.
It did. It
So,
definitely did.
when I try to explain this to people, it's like a deer in headlights. But then I got to remember, people don't even want to do the calculations to know what it costs them to run their business. So when you're dealing with people who don't want to do what's in their best interest and you're talking business with them, it's like it. I see people they're looking at me, they're like a deer with headlights.
Right.
Because I'm not
Oh,
giving them
I've seen a few of them.
right. I'm not giving them like this clean cut.
You're not telling them it's going to be all right all the time.
This
Because it
this
might not.
see and say. The see and say. You remember the see and say? Or are you too young for that? Remember the see and say?
I'm,
You don't know what
I
that.
don't
All
know
right.
it.
This
Yeah.
this 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 clear cut elementary kindergarten path to success. That elementary path to success in this industry, it doesn't exist. This is some advanced algebra with trigonometry type shit that's going on over here. And
Yeah,
people don't
it's a lot going on.
understand that.
Sure.
And people don't understand that. This ain't no, all right, boys and girls, sit down, cross your legs, fold your legs. 1 + 1 is 2. 2
No, it's
+
not like
1
that at
is
all.
3. It's not like that. This is some algebra with trigonometry type shit.
You're right about that. You're right about that.
So yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
No, I appreciate the gems, Mark. You know, I definitely learned a couple of things just coming on, connecting with you. You know, my fellow millennials and stuff, they're kind of embarrassing the hell out of me when I look at your lives. But, you know, I guess well, they're not going to make it, and I hate to say it, but I, I honestly don't want everyone to make it, because then that just makes this industry continue to be difficult.
Yeah, but there's gonna be people coming in. There's always gonna be people
Yeah.
coming in. Yeah, less competition, the better for people. But what I see now, especially with what's going on with the border crisis, also what I'm seeing with people that are failing, they're not failing and leaving the industry. That's why the capacity is really it's dissipating, but
So
it's dissipating at a slow pace. Because if most truckers that fail, they don't leave the industry, let's go work for another company. So that
right,
capacity is still there. You see what I'm
still there.
saying? That's
Yes.
I'm just moving away from my truck that I own to a company truck. So me, being in a truck, the capacity is still there. It's not going anywhere. So we lost you, sir. We lost you. You froze up. So still waiting on your sipping. SD Walk, remember the speak and spell? Yeah, I had a see and say when I was growing up. It was a little toy and it had the wheel, and then you pull the string and see and say. Yeah, it's real old school stuff. You don't know nothing about that. You don't know nothing about that. What's up, AJ? What up? All right, all right. I think we kicked it. He must have hit a dead zone. So all right. I might jump in the Discord for a little minute on my way to the gym and kick it with y'all for a little second. I appreciate y'all, man. I'm gonna say that on my exit. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you hit that like button. And don't take everything to heart. Stop being moist and soft in your heart. Just let me cook. Let me cook and take this shit with a grain of salt. It's business. Business is harsh, but it's fair. That's what you got to realize. Business is harsh, but it's fair. It's fair if you know how to play the game. If you know how to play the game, it's fair. You know what I'm saying? But it's harsh. All right. Do what's in your best interest. Um, Continue to educate yourself. And if you aren't educating yourself, start educating yourself. That's your key to success. Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sorry about that, Mark. My phone overheated. It is 112 degrees on my dash over here. It is no joke out here.
You in Arizona, you said, right?
I might. Yeah, I'm just about to be in California, I believe. I shouldn't be very far at all, but yeah, I'm in between that Phoenix, Riverside,
Okay.
that
All
little
right.
gap. Woo! Yeah,
Yes,
it's
sir.
work out here, and I'm not afraid to do the work. A lot of people came on your show and they're saying, I want to be my own boss. I don't want to, this and that. They're thinking about the cushy life where, they just control things and they make money at home or whatever. But it ain't like that at all out here at all, and I accept that. There's nothing, I'm not afraid of hard work at all. I actually, I still work out on the road. I cook most of my meals on the back of my tailgate, every day. Anytime fitness is everywhere, Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, uh, so you've done a lot of moving stuff, right? So when it comes to moving service, you think that's a good niche to? Could you do like both? Could you run the spot market sometimes and run moving stuff as well, or?
I think if you're gonna do a moving company, you should focus on the moving. It's gonna be if you're running the road
Because I see a
and
market out there for the moving
s-
stuff.
say that again.
Did I lose you?
Say that again.
I feel like the moving sector is I don't know anything about it, but I spent a lot of time just driving in this truck and just thinking. But I know a lot of realtors and whatnot, and they're always looking for companies that can you know, that they can rely on to move their clients or what say, and you know, it's a thought that crossed my mind, but I haven't really done any research on it, so I don't want to claim I
So
know anything. I don't know
yeah,
anything.
there's a lot of money in moving. A lot of money. It's different.
Right,
Hashtag moving money different. It's different. It's a different type of money.
right.
Woo, Lord have mercy, it's different. It's different. A lot of people don't want to do it though.
Well, it's
So,
hard work, right?
oh,
You
very
know,
hard,
it's
very hard, very. Imagine
heavy
moving
lifting.
someone. Imagine moving someone in that 112-degree heat.
I, I mean, I
So,
unloaded today in it, and I felt it. So, and that was, you
so,
know, a quarter of the fraction of the time I would have to spend moving somebody. So,
and guess what? If someone's lease is up that day, you got to move them. You know, I've had to send people out 100+ degree days during the pandemic when I was back out in the truck. Some of those summers we had those little heat waves where it would be 102 or 101, and
yeah,
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 you
I
know,
remember.
just it's just
I was in Texas when the AC compressor went out during the pandemic in the heat wave.
mhm,
So I cooked. I do
yeah.
remember that.
So yeah, it's a lot of money in moving. If you're in a good market, you can get a lot of local moves. You can find some good, reliable crews. You can make a lot of money. Obviously, I would suggest you get out there a couple of years and learn the industry from inside and out, learn how to move and maneuver things so that you can be able to train your people, because it is a lot of claims that can and will be
That
associated
can't
with
happen.
moving. So yeah, it's going to happen. It's not a fact that it can, it will happen. You just want to
Right,
keep
right.
the claims and the mistakes down as much as possible. I mean, but things are going to happen at
So,
moving. Hmm?
so figuratively, if I wanted to get experience on that side, or you know, because I know OTR, you know, I've got experience in the spot market, but it's nothing like the moving stuff. So, what? It's not like I'm going to sell this truck and then go work for a moving company, right?
I mean, if you want to keep the truck and go work for a moving company to learn the industry, go ahead. Or you can
Okay.
start taking small gigs. Here's the thing, I wouldn't even recommend starting a moving company or starting to learn a moving company with a 26-foot box truck. All right. Because what a 26-foot
It's just
box
not
truck is
enough.
going to, no. What a 26-foot
Oh,
box truck is going to do is going to put you in a position where you're going to want to take moves those sides. Even if I tell you don't do it and someone presents you with a 3-bedroom house move, you're going to take it. I don't think anybody that's never moved before should start doing moves that big. I started small. I started with a pickup truck, so I started moving onesies and twosies, right? And then I
okay,
started
okay.
moving dorms and studios, and then 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms. By this time, I'm renting a 16-foot truck. So I'm learning how to maneuver items in and out of different settings, right? Moving a couch
Right,
up a 3-story flight, right? It's different from
right,
moving it up the back stairs. It's different from moving it into a ranch home. It's different from moving it into a bungalow. It's different from moving it into a bi-level. It's different from moving it into a Georgian. I didn't even know the names of these different types of homes and stuff until I got
right.
into the moving industry. So I started seeing,
Okay.
I grew up in a bungalow. So moving in a bungalow is different than moving in a ranch. A ranch is easier because there's no steps. It's flat,
No stairs.
you
Yeah,
know?
flat,
Right.
easy,
So
easy money.
so you could move that same couch, but it's going to be a different experience um in each home or apartment building, or going into some of these buildings that are new construction buildings where the freight elevator is designed for the type of furniture that's being made today versus I'm in Chicago going into some of these
Oh, I see.
it's going to some of these historic buildings where, the building was
They're
built in the
old
late
buildings.
1800s
Old,
or the
old
1900s.
buildings.
So it still has an old freight
Right,
elevator, right? But the freight
right.
elevator is adequate for a love seat because they weren't making these big sectional
Big, giant.
92-inch huge sofas that the arms flare out and shit like that. So now the customer bought this,
It's a good
not
point.
really realizing it, and then you're telling them it can't fit. They come downstairs, they see you try, and now you're telling them, well, we're going to charge you X amount of dollars to carry up 40 flights of stairs. What you want to do? You see what I'm saying? So
Right. No, it's you're right. That's a
you
good point
and
right
this is why I
there.
tell people that they have to get out there so that they can experience this shit from different levels, having different experiences, so that, you know, when their crews are faced with these challenges, they know how to navigate them because they've been in these situations. If you've never done it, you're not going to know how to you know, navigate or delegate to your team or teams how to maneuver through and around these situations. You
Okay.
know,
No,
so
that's a solid point. That's a solid point. Um, and then what are the best resources to learn how to price a service? How did you learn how to price your service to move and,
first
depending on the
thing I did
circumstances
was
and
I
stuff?
called a bunch of moving companies and made up mock scenario
Okay.
moves and got quotes.
That's smart. That's smart. That you're right.
And
Get comps.
yeah, so I saw what the comps were charging, and then I created a price to compete. So this is when I was still under the table. So I created a niche back then that focused on a specific demographic,
Okay.
and I charged that demographic a price that was a lot of money to me, but it was cheaper than going with a licensed company at the time, right? So I
Okay.
focused on a specific niche, and I didn't go outside of that niche. I didn't have any interest on doing 3 bedrooms or 4 bedrooms. Not really even 2. I wanted to focus on 1 bedrooms and below back then. And then I slowly worked my way up, because once you start getting into 3 and 4 bedroom homes, you're dealing with a different type of client. Person got a 3 or 4 bedroom home, they have more expensive furniture than a person who has a studio. Person who's living in the studio is living in the studio for a reason, right? So if my skill set, and this is
Right.
why I'm saying I wouldn't start with a 26 footer, I wouldn't advise anyone to start with a 26 footer, because what happens is you get out there, you say, oh, okay, I'm gonna learn before I go get licensed. I'm gonna take the risk. You're gonna take a 3, 4 bedroom home, and you got a person who has expensive china. You have a person who has like more expensive furniture. They're not shopping at Bob's. They shopping
Expensive.
at
Yeah.
Walter E.
Right.
Smith,
Right.
right? They got
Right.
china cabinets. These china cabinets aren't made from pressed wood. They're made from real wood, and they're heavy, right? Like I always
Right.
tell this story about this guy back in the day. One of my earlier moves back when I was still on the truck, my first stint on the truck, this guy had an old Ralph Lauren um armoire set. I didn't
Okay.
even know Ralph Lauren made furniture. And he said, listen, I
I
care
didn't
about
even. I
everything.
don't. I'm learning it now.
Right. He said, I care about everything, but this piece is I care about the most. I paid $20,000 for this 20 years ago. So this was 2012.
Jesus.
So he bought it in 92. He said, I paid $20,000 for this 20 years ago. It doesn't exist anymore. It has to make it from point A to point B. I can't replace this. It has to make it from point A to point B. It has to make it to point B the same way it leaves here. And that thing was heavy.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and he was in a 5 bedroom home. The master bedroom had a lofted area. The walk-in closet was something out of a movie. You walk in the closet, it had mirrors wrapped around. It had an island in the center of the closet with a dressing area. You walk through there. There was a whole nother shoe room that, you know, the shoes were, you know. So this is one of those types of houses. 4 or 5 car
Okay.
garage, connected 4 or 5 car garage. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you put yourself into those situations too prematurely, and you don't know how to
You're gonna mess it
deal
all
with
up.
this type of stuff. You're gonna mess it up, and then you've already ruined yourself before you even got started. That's why I say, listen, start with the small stuff, because you're dealing with a client, you're dealing with a demographic who is dealing with cheaper furniture, hand-me-down furniture, dumpster diver furniture, who they don't really care about how the furniture makes it from point A to point B, right? It's more so I needed to make it from point A to point B as quickly as possible, because I don't have money to be paying for you to be here all day. We lost you again. All right. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'm sorry, I know we lost you again, but I'm gonna go ahead and retire. I appreciate everybody once again. You know, the content is here to help you. If you don't like it, don't watch it. You know, there's other channels that you could watch. If you find value, continue to watch it, and you know, hit the like button. I'm gonna continue to present my content the way I present it because this is the way it gets through to people. All right, it's the way it gets through to people. All right, I can hold people accountable because I have the experience. All right, and this is why I'm confident, and this is why I know I can go out and do it because I have the experience and I can lead a person in the right direction. If I didn't have the experience, I would one not be doing content on something that I don't have the experiences in, or two, be bold enough to hold someone accountable and I don't know what the hell I'm doing, nor do I have the experience to be holding somebody else accountable. All right. I have common sense. If I haven't showed you that I've had common sense in all this time, then clearly you ain't been watching long enough. Until next time, peace.